Welcome back, guys. Discernment, vulnerability, perfectionism. These are three themes that I want to discuss about. When it comes to astrology, Dreamspell, human design, gene keys, sacred Mayan calendar, there are always some themes that you can notice when it comes to making better decisions in your life. And these are just three themes that I decided to work with, and I think it's very beneficial if you are being more aware of them during your days, especially in the next two to 3 days. Vulnerability. So here's what's happening. Like taking a pulse on the weather. We still have the sun in Leo. So the overarching theme is empowerment, right? It's courage to put yourself out there like I'm doing, or how many other people are showing up right now. I'm just seeing like within my circle of friends or my family, they are just taking leaps of faith, and it's so very beautiful. So having that sun in Leo is really helping us awaken that fire, awaken the dragon within. The moon is going from Taurus into Gemini. So that means, like Taurus was a little bit more cozy, central, really enjoying life. And right now we're going into Gemini, which is about unity. It's about finding that harmony. It's about making sure that if you do speak, because it's a lot about speaking, it wants to share, that you merge the mind and the heart. So it's about unity. In the Dreamspell today, I have a galactic activation portal, which is opening up, is lifting the veil of illusion, especially if you're sensitive, if you're aware of that. And we're in the sign of the wind, and wind is about communication, using the breath to communicate with other people by channeling spirit. So it's a very synchronistic day for me to be online, to be sharing this with you, and to also organize and structure my ideas in a way that might serve you even better. And this is where Virgo comes in, because we have Mercury. Mercury is the translator, is the messenger of the gods, the one that helps to communicate, right? So Mercury is in Virgo right now, and it will also go retrograde very soon on the 5th of August. And I know a lot of people are scared about that. Actually, I'm much more scared about the Chiron retrograde, and we'll talk about that. But at the same time, it's not necessarily about being scared, but it's about how you use these retrogrades in order to become even more aware of the wounding that wants to be integrated into your being, so you can find that unity, the moon in Gemini. So in Mercury in Virgo is like this perfectionism, right? That's why I also mentioned perfectionism as a main theme for these days, is like noticing that critique, that self-critique, that inner voice that tells you, no, it has to be perfect in order for me to step into my Leo. And that can't be farther away from the truth, because how you actually relate to other people is by being vulnerable, and that is gate 59 in human design. So the moon, Mercury is going through, is transitioning gate 59 in human design. So it's all about building intimacy with other people by shedding those masks, those layers of, oh my God, I need to be perfect. I need to be not perfect necessarily, but I need to be more healed. I need to have the perfect sentence structure. I have to have everything organized before, or I have to integrate all my shame before I can step into this relationship. I have to, right? We have also so many rules before we can actually just fucking do it. Just be in our purpose, as unhealed as we may think ourselves to be, right? Because it's this illusions. And I also mentioned discernment as another theme, because in the sacred Mayan calendar we have Tihash, and that's really the novel of it's like a double-edged sword. You can think about it as an obsidian. I have obsidian here. Obsidian sword that, you know, can be used to discern, to really cut through illusions and to determine, okay, like this is what I need to cut out of my life. It's really like helping us to be even more clear, Virgo, even more clear on how we should communicate, what do we want, what is actually serving us. So we can use, in the next 2 days, we can use this sword of discernment to really pierce, you know, into the depths of our wounding and to be like, oh, no, this is an old pattern. I don't really need that anymore. However, that might still come up, right? Because you need to see it, because you need to integrate, you need to bring self-compassion. But at the same time, you can let it go. Just for now, you can let it go. So yeah, these are the themes. You can decide if you want to stick for longer and, you know, hear what I have to share, going a little bit deeper into these patterns of discernment, vulnerability, perfectionism, and how you can use the energies of these 2 days to ascend, or to use everything for your evolvement, for your following your sacred mission in this life, your prophecy. Right. So before we get started, and I'm gonna try out different things, especially when it comes to me following the Dreamspell, today being the wind. I want to employ different practices and to use my channel as a way of experimenting with how exactly I want to communicate, what kind of messages feel resonating for others, but I can also sense, okay, the way that I speak is resonating to other people because it's resonating with me, because it feels very true to my womb. And so whenever I communicate, I'm always, before I'm doing something, I'm always centering. And by centering myself, right, I'm closing my eyes and taking at least three deep breaths in and out. I'm calling in the red dragon of the earth, right, because I'm rooting into the earth, and I'm calling in the red dragon, this primal energy, right, that is within my womb, to help me be grounded and to communicate from a place that is from deep within Mother Earth, but at the same time also calling in my white dragon, the dragon of consciousness, you know, source coming in, the white light, and they're all mixing in my being and creating something which I find very beautiful. At least this is how it's awakening within me. It's like this beautiful red and white rose that is blooming. So before we communicate anything, it's good to notice, like just pause, because, right, silence. We need to pause a lot in order to notice, wait, this is coming up right now when it comes to communication. And it brings me to being at the cottage and noticing a squirrel. And if you notice how a squirrel moves in the world, it's so beautiful, it's so majestic, it's so perfect. And especially if it comes to you, you can see it as a sign, and you can see everything as a sign of course, not exaggerating, but at the same time, when you are gifted that sacred vision, when you open your third eye, you can start to notice, oh, wait a second, like I can actually see the messages, like everything behind the illusions. So with the squirrel, you can notice how it's moving. It's going very fast and then it's stopping. And then running again and then stopping and then looking to the right, looking to the left. And there's such a deep wisdom that we can take from that. Because before we do something, before we take an action, before we start to grab everything, right? To start to eat or to start to, launch into the next business or to call our mothers, to do anything, we can stop. And we can notice like, okay, what is coming up? What is being presented to me regarding this this action, and how can I use this opportunity to heal? How can I become even more, turn up the volume, right? Because I'm doing it, turn up the volume of awareness, of consciousness, to use every single action, to use every single opportunity for my healing. So we can take 3 deep breaths right now, in and out. We can close our eyes and just notice what is in the field, especially when it comes to perfectionism, vulnerability, or discernment. And maybe, because in the Dreamspell we are guided by the mirror, maybe I mirrored something in you when it comes to these 3 things, right? Maybe it's hard to discern if what I'm saying is true. Maybe it's hard to discern what is helpful for you and what is not. Just notice it. Gemini is neither black nor white. It's both. So just notice. Then we have the vulnerability. Can you actually feel that I'm coming from a place of vulnerability and openness? Or are you still stuck in thinking how you can be more vulnerable? And the third one that you can ask yourself while we take this moment together of pausing is perfectionism, right? Do you feel the mirror? Do you feel that you want to change anything when it comes to me presenting? Oh, but if you could say this, or if you could do that, or if you could be dressed like this, or right? Notice that internal chatter. Oh, if you can take more pauses, or if you can, right? And this is also within me, but it's within us as well. It's within all of us. It's in the collective unconscious. So the mirror is literally just mirroring everything that is in the collective unconscious and subconscious. Perfectionism. Oh, I could never do a YouTube video. I could never start a YouTube channel because I'm not perfect, because, right? How do you see yourself when it comes to the need to be more perfect? So these are just some things, and just notice like what kind of question resonated with you. So let's close our eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale through your mouth. Let it go. Just drop into your being, into your essence. Inhale. Relax your body. Inhale again. And release. Okay, now we come to our regular breathing pattern. Just breathing a little bit deeper into your belly. So we want to calm our nervous system down. If we do manage to calm our nervous system, if we do manage to just turn the volume down on those thoughts, especially when it comes to perfectionism, being afraid to be vulnerable, all those things, just lower it. It's okay. You can observe it and then let it go. And when we breathe deeper, we can bypass that. We can observe them, but then also go beyond the critical thoughts, the self-judgment, or judgment for others. You can actually hear what is being said, because there is no more filter of the mind, filter of your wounds. Being able to discern what comes up, to discern what is good for you, what is healthy. It's just one thing that comes up. You can write it down and then come back. Being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, not on Instagram, but with your parents, maybe with your sister, maybe in your relationship. Are you still scared? Are you ashamed? Just notice one or two things, one or two truths, right? Truths. You can be honest with yourself. You can be vulnerable with yourself. That's where it all starts. And then do you have the feeling that you need to be more perfect in order to launch in the direction of your dreams? Where do you feel that you have limiting beliefs around needing to be more whole, more healed, more skinny, more grounded, more focused, more artistic, more masculine, more feminine, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, before I launch my offering, I need to have more followers, right? That's what I'm saying to myself. Vulnerability. Okay. And now let's take 3 deep breaths in and out again. Inhale deeply. Let it go. Inhale again. Exhale. One last time. Inhale deeply. And release. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And slowly open your eyes. Slowly or fast, like I did. I'm very curious what came up for you. If you do want to share it with me, feel free to leave it in a comment. Share it with me. I'm very open for feedback when it comes to everything. And I do want to share that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of you becoming more self-aware in a moment of pause, in a moment of silence, right? Of meditation, of vipassana, of And me holding a mirror for that process and asking those questions is just something like how I, for example, love to serve in this world. I love to offer moments of stillness, of silence, where you can go deep within. And I want to segue into Chiron retrograde right now, because Chiron is the wounded healer, is the shaman, is the embodied shaman that, you know, that helps you see. Obviously, they all help you see. But Chiron helps you see your deep-seated wounds. And depending on where it is in your house, and you can either check it out online, you can write me, depending on where it is, when it goes into retrograde, and it did a few days ago, when it goes into retrograde, those deep wounds might be a little bit louder. But they're only louder because it's time for you to see and embrace them. And when you embrace them, you can transform them, you can alchemize them into your purpose, right? So my Chiron is in Cancer in the 3rd house. And, you know, 3rd house is about communication, right? It's all about communication, right? We talk about the wind and the Dreamspell, we talk about Mercury, we talk about all of this, we talk about Virgo, la la la. It's all around communication. However, Cancer is the mother womb, the nurturer, right? So for me, and now it's vulnerability time, right? For me, it's about the deep-seated wounds around my childhood home and how I was raised, not being able to speak my voice, not being able to be confident in what I want to share. I'm still healing from that. And it's perfect, because that's exactly how I'm healing, by showing up here, by embracing perfectionism, right? I have it here. I'm using Chiron in Cancer, I'm using Cancer to nurture my wounds, to nurture, oh yes, you have perfection, you really believe, like you really believe that if you would have more certifications, a better voice, more organized thoughts, then is the right time to share. I can notice these thoughts and it's okay. We can still go, because we have so much knowledge, we have so much wisdom, we have this passion, we have the fire. Look at how many things we have. So where is your Chiron? Because that will tell you like which wounds will come up to be seen. But Chiron goes in retrograde in Aries. So that means that Aries is in the 1st house. So Aries is about, yes, is that, you know, the fire as well. It's a fire sign. But it's about identity, self-identity. So do you still carry wounds, maybe from your childhood, around identity, right? Around being like maybe selfish, having a fear of being selfish. Do you have that within your day? Can you notice it? Can you write it down? And then bring compassion, right? Oh, I see you. I see you. Nothing goes unnoticed, right? I see you and I still love you, and it's okay. Do you feel confident with your identity? with your independence? How do you relate to your independence, to your autonomy? Are you still giving your power away? Or were you able to take your power back from your parents, caregivers, authority figures? Are you ashamed? Shame, right? Are you ashamed about who you are in this world? About your vulnerability, about this shame around my identity? So I'm just gonna, again, vulnerability moment. How it came out for me. I was called by my parents in the weekend flower power, right? Oh, hippie, what does she know about life? And it's this, the wounding of, let's say, bullying. If you were bullied, like you know very well, like about the different ways in which you try to reclaim that voice, reclaim the power. However, that was triggered, right? Oh, I want to be who I am, like, even if people make fun of me, even if like the mainstream thinks that I'm weird, right? I'm an Aquarius, I'm weird, or I know that we are part of nature, right? That we are one with nature, and people make fun of that here. Before, I didn't allow it to affect me. I was disassociated. Right now, whew, it lands deep in the womb. And what I choose to do instead of, yeah, whatever, like I am who I am and I'm fine, the same old story, I can remove myself from a situation if I feel that I don't necessarily have in that moment the courage, like Leo, the courage to speak up and to share, to stand my ground, and that's fine, you know. You can love yourself for not being able in that moment to do it. You can remove yourself from the situation and be with the inner child. Literally visualize your inner child next to you and be like, okay, how do you feel? I feel like I feel hurt, I feel abandoned, I feel that I will be banished from the family, from society, because I'm so fucking different. Okay, let's cry together. And you can hold space for the inner child, for you to actually cry. That's what I did. And then you take the role of the adult. And when you step out of that, you know, the inner child, because we all have inner children in our adolescence, right? We're all going to the path of evolution from, let's say, if you're a woman, from maiden to mother. Inner child, maiden, mother, crone. So being able to step into the more mature shoes and hold space for that inner child, right? It's Chiron. It's okay. We're not talking about Lilith or any other archetypes. It's Chiron. It's very deep wounding from childhood. And when you can do that, a lot of things change. You become so much more empowered because you're not identified yourself with those wounds. And what happened with me as well, being able to step out of the shoes of my inner child and hold space for her and make her feel safe, I took my medicine drum, and I went to a tree in our backyard, and I started drumming for the tree, for the goddess, as a sign of, even if the world believes that we are crazy, that we know is this this pattern of neo-colonialism, like the deep-seated fear of wisdom. Because if we have wisdom, that it means that, oh, I have to take self-responsibility, right? I can choose. I don't need to put my power in other people's hands to choose for me. That means awakening to my power, right? That means like knowing that we are part of nature and all of that, and that this is an artificial reality. It's not easy to wake up to these things, of course, and then people have fear. And if they have fear, they judge and they project, and they're in separation consciousness. So what you can do, instead of allowing yourself to be affected by that, to be sucked into that, you can go the complete other way. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm gonna take my drum, I'm gonna go to a tree and start drumming really, really, really fucking loud. Yes, shame will come up. Yes, all the wounds will be there. But I promise you, the goddess, Mother Earth, God, the universe, everything will open up for you because you managed to stand in that courage. The Leo. Stand in your truth. So this is a practice that you can do, and it's not easy, right? It comes with healing. It comes with vulnerability. It comes with the discipline of continuing to follow that the spark, the like, what is spirit trying to tell me? Oh, in order for me to heal from this wound, I need to do this and that. You don't need to have a list of spiritual healing, right? Like, okay, so right now I feel like very hurt. So I have my booklet where I wrote exactly what I need to do when I feel hurt. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna start emotional freedom technique. I'm gonna tap. It's like, even though I feel hurt, I love myself. It's all amazing, and it's so helpful. It's really, really, really good to know all these tools. Or Reiki, right? I'm gonna do Reiki for myself, or I'm gonna do some shaking, or whatever. So you don't need to have a list of 10 things if something happens. You don't necessarily need that. You literally just need to get comfortable with your inner truth. And how do you get comfortable with your truth? Is by coming to silence. That's it. Easier said than done. Okay. So to end, tomorrow, we have the night in the Dreamspell. So, and we also have Kawok in the Sacred Mayan calendar, and they both point to abundance. So abundance usually comes when you are able to be in silence, to close your eyes, right? Because it's also night, to close your eyes. And even if you don't know which path to take and where to go and what to do, you still feel abundant because you are a part of Source, because this is your birthright. So you have that knowing, oh, I am abundant right now. Not if something happens, not if I know the right way, not if that I achieve the goal. You close your eyes, I don't know what's happening, I don't see where I'm gonna go, I don't see my, but right now, I feel so abundant. Notice if you can just play with that. Maybe it's so far-fetched, but just notice. Notice where it takes you. Right. So Mercury, as I mentioned, Virgo, it will still stay in gate 59 in human design. And we're still in sun and moon is still transiting gate 31. I mean, the sun is transiting gate 31, which is about leadership. So it's still about like everything that comes up, right? Chiron retrograde, Mercury retrograde, like the Dreamspell, my calendar, everything is actually pointing to that overarching theme of Leo and leadership. Leo and leadership. Leo and leadership. It has all these wounds, but what is the silver lining? What is the North Star? Well, that's the North Star. That's the North Star. Is the leadership, you becoming more of the leader in your life and with your purpose, and having the courage to step out there, being fucking empowered, unleashing those dragons. And that's what I want to do. Is actually I plan to put together a program, a course for people to like, okay, how do I actually unleash my dragons? And the moon will move into Gemini from Taurus. So yeah, it's moving into Gemini. So notice that harmony, the unity without bypassing. And this too, as my dear friend said, and this too. Notice it's not black and white. You can take the third option, right? It's neither this nor that, but you can take the third one, which is the witness. Can you step out? Can you see? Can you see? Oh, I can be super ashamed, I can be super empowered, but I can also just be the witness. Okay, lovelies. It was a pleasure to be on here on such a potent day for me with all these things, and to see the patterns. I really hope it served you. I really hope that you can take something out of it. You can make notes on this, and if anything resonated with you, you don't need to, because it can get overwhelming, of course, but if anything, oh right, perfectionism, there are these themes, right? Oh, you know, your light bulb goes off. That means kind of the time to look at them. Okay, so wishing everyone a beautiful day. If it was helpful, I just noticed that my trash can is visible, so I'll probably switch next time. Yeah, drop me a line. You can ask me anything, and if it was helpful, thumbs up, subscribe, stay in touch when I will release my course about the dragon.